Pro has a number of great audio editing features that you can use in your projects. However, in order to take your audio to the next level, I would recommend that you consider using Adobe Audition instead, which is the dedicated audio production program within Creative Cloud. Before we open Audition to start working on an audio file, we should make sure that we set our microphones to the right level and select correct microphones. Go to your system preferences and select Sound, and there will be a list of input devices, microphones available to you. If you don't have any external microphones, you're only going to see the internal microphone. The thing to note here is that the input level on the microphone will affect the audio quality that you get when you record. If you have set the input levels too high, you're going to run into problems with what we call peaking. That is, you're going to have distorted sound when it's really loud. And if it's too low, then you will barely hear it, and you will need to boost the levels in Audition. If in doubt, it is always better to record a little lower than you need rather than too high. You want to aim for somewhere in the 75% range, which is equal to about -12 to -6 decibel. If you have an external microphone, you will probably have either a dial on the microphone itself to adjust the gain or on the audio interface that is connected to your microphone. So now let's go ahead and open Audition. Also, while Audition is opening, it is important when you're recording audio that you try to speak in a normalized voice so you don't modulate your voice too much. And also, you want to sit as close to your microphone as you can. That way you will get the best recording quality. So now that we're in Audition, the first thing we need to do is come into Adobe Audition Preferences and Audio Hardware. And we're going to come down here to Audio Hardware, and we're going to make sure that the default input has been set to the microphone that we want. We can leave these other settings as they are. So now that you have set up your audio hardware, let's go ahead and create our audio file. So I go to File, New, and Audio File. I give it a name and click OK. And I am now in Audition's recording studio. In the center of the screen, we will see the recording and the waveforms as they are being recorded. Just down below, we have the control buttons. And then we have an effect control area over to the left. And we got our all-important levels, the meter, down at the bottom. We also have a timer to show us how long the recording is. So in order to start recording, I'm just going to press the record button and just do a little test recording for the demonstration. So this is my test recording, and I can see that it's peaking at about -12 dB, which is where I wanted it. But I have enough here, so I can now stop that. So I click the stop button, and my recording stops at 22 seconds. I can back up to the timeline here, and I go back and I can now replay it. I press the play button. So this is my test recording. I'm talking and I can see that it's peaking about. So that's my test recording. Now I'm going to show you the workflow that I use to bring the audio quality on this file to the final product that I like to have. So as you can see, there is a pretty even level going on here, but over here I had a cough which I inserted on purpose just to show you. This is peaking really loudly, and of course I don't want that cough in my audio. So the way I deal with that is I just come over here, place the cursor in front of it, and I drag all over that. Turns white, and then I press the delete key. And now I can play that back, which is where I wanted it. But I have, so the cough is gone, that's great. I also sometimes will inhale before I start speaking, so I have a little audio issues there. And so what I like to do is also come in and just tune that, so that's out of the way. I wanted it, but that sounds much better. If I have left too much room in here, I can, or too much silence, I can come in and trim that up as well. I got one more over here at the beginning, like so, and I can use that also to trim up the beginning of the clip and the end of it as well if I want to. So that's the first step that I do. Let me go ahead and get that one out as well. So that's the first step in my workflow for audio files. The next thing that I want to do is I want to come over here to the effects rack. And this is where I'm going to start applying effects to clean up this audio. And the first thing I usually do is I come down to filter and EQ equalizer, and I add the 10-band equalizer, and I add a vocal presence boost. This is a filter that can really improve the sound of the recording. So let's play it back with how it sounds like with the vocal boost on. So this is my test recording. I'm talking and I can see where I can turn that off and on. That sounds good. You can adjust the level. This is the preset that I use. And once you're satisfied with that, you just come over to the effects rack and you click apply. And that is now being applied to that entire clip. So the next thing I want to do, and this is particularly if I've been outside and done a recording where there's a lot of background noise and everything like that, I will come in and I will add noise reduction. Under the noise reduction restoration, I select denoise, and I just go ahead and apply denoiser, and that's going to take out background noise and clean up the audio for me. There isn't a whole lot. This is my test recording. I'm talking and I can see that it's peaking. There isn't a whole lot of background noise on this particular recording, so I don't really have to use it, but for demonstration purposes, I decided to do it. So once I've done that, I can now do my last step in the workflow, which is to normalize the audio to -3 dB. -3 dB is the industry standard for mixdowns, and the reason why it's set to -3 dB is so that there is some headroom for later editing, and if you want to overlay something on top of it, there is an opportunity to go even louder with the audio. So once you have that that -3 dB headroom, you have something to work with. So now I have finished my file, and I can come out to File and then Save. I want to make sure that I place it within the correct folder. So I select the audio folder and I save it. It's going to save as a WAV file, which is a lossless format, so you're going to have the best possible quality. You don't want to save it as an MP3 at this point because you still have perhaps some more work you need to do with it. So now that I'm done, I just click OK, and the audio file saves out to my hard drive to the specified audio folder in my project. And that's how I do my workflow in Adobe Audition when I work with voiceovers and sound.